every day this month, I'm going to be reading something in celebration of Black History Month. Black History Month started in 1926. It was originally just a week called Negro History Week. And then in the 70s, President Ford made it a month. And ever since then, every president has issued a proclamation. Now, there is a question of some funding at the federal level this year, but in regards to how that there's not going to be any celebration of it, and also in the National Archives, while Martin Luther King is still on the site, there have been some things taken down at the museum because they were too controversial. For example, in the Step into History photo booth, a photo of Martin Luther King was replaced with a photo of President Nixon shaking hands with Elvis. And that in itself is ironic, especially since Elvis was highly influenced by Black music, and Little Richard said Elvis opened the door for Black music. So there's that. And of course, Nixon is a whole nother thing. Anyway, I'm happy to celebrate this month, and I think we all need to learn a little history. Doesn't matter what the archives removes. We've got enough books in the world to talk about it. So I also want to say, so what I'm reading is from this book, The People Could Fly, American Black Folktales by Virginia Hamilton. Let's talk about Virginia Hamilton. Give credit for the author. She is Black. She's a Black American. Sorry, she passed in 2002, but she wrote 41 books, and she won many medals, the Newbery Medal, and her work was called, her works were celebrated for exploring the African American experience, what she called liberation literature. So I'm so happy I have this book. I just got it. And I do want to say that I will not be reading it exactly in the vernacular because it's more of a Southern vernacular, and I don't want it to appear the way I read it as fake, if that makes sense. But I do want to respect the spirit of the story and the culture. So for example, if I was from the South, I would say children, because some Southern dialects, right, say children instead of children. But that is not how I would talk. So I just want to say that I will be not changing the words, but some of the pronunciation will not be in the dialect it's written, if that makes sense, because I don't have that dialect, and it will just sound like I'm making fun. It could sound like I'm making fun of these tales. So, okay, let's get started. First is a very short story. I'll be reading The Lion, Brer Bear, and Brer Rabbit. And a note to remember about these tales that the author wrote was, remember that these folk tales were once a creative way for oppressed people to express their fears and hopes to one another. And remember that the animals are representative of slaves and the plantation owners to a certain degree. So these are excellent stories. I'm very excited. Say that the lion would get up each and every morning, stretch and walk around. He'd roar, me and myself, like that. Scare all the little animals so they were afraid to come outside in the sunshine. Afraid to go hunting or fishing or whatever the little animals wanted to do. What are we gonna do about it? They asked one another. Squirrel leaping from branch to branch, just scared. Possum playing dead, couldn't hardly move him. The lion just went on, sticking out his chest and roaring, me and myself, me and myself. The little animals held a sit-down talk. And one by one, and two by two, and all by all, they decide to go see Brer Bear and Brer Rabbit. For they know that Brer Bear has been around, and Brer Rabbit says he has too. So they went to Brer Bear, and Brer Rabbit said, we have some trouble. Old Lion, he's scaring everybody, roaring every morning all day. Me and myself, like that. Why the lion want to do that, Brer Bear said. Is that all that lion has to say? Brer Rabbit asked. We don't know why, but that's all the lion can tell us, and we didn't even ask him to tell us that, said the little animals, and him scaring the children with it, and we want him to stop it. Well, I'll go see him, talk to him. I've known the lion a long kind of time, Brer Bear said. I'll go with you, said Brer Rabbit. I've known the lion most long as you. That bear and that rabbit went off through the forest. They kept hearing something. Couldn't make it out. They got farther in the forest. They heard it plain now. Me and myself. Me and myself. Well, said Brer Bear. He wasn't scared. He'd been around the whole forest, seen a lot. My, said Brer Rabbit. He'd seen enough to know not to be afraid of an old he-lion. Now, the lions could be dangerous, old he-lions could be dangerous, but you had to know how to handle them. The bear and the rabbit climbed up and up and up the cliff where he-lion had his lair. They found him, kept their distance. He watching them and they watching him. Everybody acting cordial. Here till you're scaring everybody, all the little animals with your roaring all the time, Brer Rabbit said. I roar when I pleases, he-lion said. Well, might you could leave off the noise first thing in the morning so the little animals can get what they want to eat and drink? Asked Brer Bear. Listen, said he-lion, and then he roared, me and myself, me and myself. Nobody tell me what to do, he said. I'm the king of the forest, me and myself. Better had let me tell you something, Brer Rabbit said, for I've seen man, and I know him to be the real king of the forest. He-lion was quiet for a while. He looked straight through the scrawny little rabbit like he was nothing at all. He looked at Brer Bear and figured he'd talk to him. You, Bear, you've been around. That's true, said old Brer Bear. I've been about everywhere. I've been around the whole forest. Then you must know something, he-lion said. I know lots, Brer Bear, slow and quiet like. Tell me what you know about man, he-lion said. He think him the king of the forest? Well, now I'll tell you, Brer Bear said. I've been around, but I haven't ever crossed man that I know of. Couldn't tell you nothing about him. So he-lion had to turn back to Brer Rabbit. He didn't want to, but he had to. So what? He said to that scrawny little hare. Well, you gotta come down from there if you want to see man, Brer Rabbit said. Come down from there and I'll show you him. He roared just once. Me and myself, me and myself. Now, he said, come show me man. So they set out. he lion, bruh bear, and bruh rabbit. They go along and they go along, range in the forest. Pretty soon they come to a clearing, and playing in it is a little fella 9 years old. Is that there, man? Asked he lion. Why, no. That one is called Wilby, but it's not man, said bruh rabbit. Bruh rabbit. So they went along and they went along. Pretty soon they came upon a shade tree, and sleeping under it is an olden fellow, about 90 years olden. There must lie man, spoke he lion. I knew him wasn't gone be much. That's not man, said bruh rabbit. That fellow was once. You'll know it when you see man. So they went on along. He lion is getting tired of strolling, so he roars, me and myself, me and myself. Upsets bear, so the bear doubles over, runs and climbs a tree. Come down from there, bruh rabbit telling him. So after a while, bear comes down. He's keeping his distance from the lion anyhow. And they set out some more, going along quiet and slow. In a little while, they come to a road, and coming on way down the road, bruh rabbit sees man coming. Man about 21 years old, big and strong with a big gun over his shoulder. There, bruh rabbit says. See there, he lion, there's man. You better go meet him. I will, said he lion, and he sticks out his chest and roars, me and myself, me and myself. All the way to man, he's roaring proud, me and myself, me and myself. Come on, bruh bear, let's go, says bruh rabbit. What for? Bruh bear wants to know. You better come on, says bruh rabbit. Takes hold of bruh bear and half drags him to a thicket. And there he making the bear hide with him. For here comes man. He sees old lion real good now. He drops to one knee and he takes him with a big gun. Old he lion is roaring his head off. Me and myself, paloom. The big gun goes off. He lion falls back hard on his tail. The gun goes off again. Paloom. He lion is flying through the air. He lands in the thicket. Well, did you see man, says bruh bear. I seen him, said he lion. Man smoking to me unkind and got a great long stick him keeping on his shoulder. Man taking that stick down and him speaking real mean, thundering at me and lightning coming from that stick awful bad. Made me sick. I had to turn around, and man pointing that stick again and thundering at me some more. So I come in here because it seemed like he throwed some stickers at me each time it thundered too. So you've met man and you know exactly what kind of him is, said bruh rabbit. I surely do that, said lion back. A while after the lion met man, things were some better in the forest. Bruh bear knew that man looked like so he could keep out of his way. That rabbit always did know to keep out of man's way. The little animals could go out in the morning because the lion was more peaceable. He didn't walk around roaring at the top of his voice all the time. And when he, lion, did lift the voice of his, it was like, me and myself a man, me and myself a man, like that. Wasn't too loud at all. Animal tales are the most widely known black folk tales. Because of the menial labor slaves were made to do, they observed and came to know many kinds of animals throughout their daily lives. They developed a keen interest in those lowly creatures. Because they had so little knowledge about the fauna found here, right? Because they were slaves from Africa, they made up tales that to some extent explain and fit their observations of the animal behavior. The tales also satisfied the slaves' needs to explain symbolically and secretly the ruling behavior of the slave owners in relation to themselves. As time passed, the tales were told more for entertainment and instruction. This tale is the typical tale of an animal, whether it's a wolf, lion, bear, rabbit, goat, tiger, etc., that learns through experience to fear man. It is the rabbit that shows man to the lion, and the rabbit, representing the slave in the animal tales, knows from experience to fear man. This tale ranges through North and South America, Europe, and Africa. I think, too, when I was reading it, what came to me was, when we all work together, we all stay safe. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Happy February 1st.